Before I get into any of the enhancements to the new pistol, or actually the modifications that I'm going to make to the new pistol, I thought it might be interesting to take a look at how this design evolved over the years. I went ahead and pulled my original SW40C out of the safe. This is a pistol that I bought new from Smith & Wesson in 1996. In fact, I've still got the original paperwork with it, and I checked that just to make sure I knew when I got this. It was August of 1996. This pistol was shipped to me. And again, I've done a little bit of shooting with this. I've never had a problem with it. Back in the days when I did use it, it was a pretty good pistol. Again, I know there were some problems that people had with the Sigmas, some functioning problems, but I've never experienced one with this. When we compare it to the newer pistol, there are a couple of things you can see right off the bat. The ejection port on the new pistol is lower and actually looks to be a little bit larger front to back than the older SW40C. Also, the extractor has been redesigned. The checkering on the grips, if I can get where you can see them both at the same time, has been improved on the newer pistol. The contour of the slide has also been improved quite a bit. In fact, I like the looks. For whatever looks are worth, I like the looks of the contour of the new slide more than I like the contour of the old pistol. They have added a ridge or a guard around the slide stop to keep from inadvertently pushing up on that under recoil. They've added an equipment rail to the front, although again this is a proprietary equipment rail, so not just anything out there will fit onto this. It has to be something made for a Sigma. The sights are pretty much the same. The newer pistol has the 3-dot sights. The older pistol has night sights that long ago faded away. Again, this pistol is now almost 20 years old. It's hard to believe 1996 is almost 20 years ago. 18 years, I guess, to be exact. So the night sights are gone. In a minute, I'll go ahead and take them apart and we'll see what's changed on the inside. On the inside of the pistol, the only thing I can really see that's different is the ejector. The ejector on the newer pistol is noticeably longer and repositioned slightly as compared to the extractor on the older pistol, which is definitely shorter and positioned a little farther to the left. Otherwise, the inside of the lower half of the pistol seems to be virtually identical. The interior of the slide of both pistols is also still very much the same. It appears that the machining on the slide for the newer pistols is a little nicer, a little smoother. Also, the striker block on the newer pistol seems to be a little bit smaller and a little more rounded at the edge than the older pistol, which should make the trigger pulls feel just a little bit smoother. The barrels also appear to be pretty much identical. This is the newer barrel on the bottom, the older barrel on the top. I can't really see any difference in the barrels at all. Well, other than the newer pistol has the loaded chamber indicator that Smith & Wesson has been using for a while, where you can look down and see the top of the cartridge if there's one in the chamber, and that's not on the barrel for the older pistol. That's the only difference I can see in the barrels. And the recoil spring assemblies appear to be identical. Again, this is the newer pistol on the bottom, older pistol on the top. I can't see any difference in those at all. Magazines appear to be identical. The newer pistol on the bottom, older pistol on the top. I can't see any difference in the magazines. The exterior dimension of the pistols is exactly the same. They both have 4-inch barrels. The original SW40F, the original Sigma, had a barrel and a slide that was a ½ inch longer. So it faded away into history some time ago, and Smith & Wesson continued with the size of the SW40C, which is the one that came out probably in about 1995. So with just this cursory look at the differences between the newer pistol and the older Sigma, it appears that Smith & Wesson enhanced the extraction and ejection qualities of the pistol. They also made it more difficult to inadvertently activate the slide stop during recoil, and basically those things have addressed the problems that historically I heard regarding the Sigma, specifically failures to extract, failures to eject, causing the pistol to malfunction. and I will be interested when we go out to shoot this to see just how well it shoots. Again, I never experienced a malfunction with the older pistol. I have no reason to think that this is going to function any differently. Now, I did see a recent YouTube video where there was a gentleman that was having failures to eject, and I was watching it, and I have a suspicion that somehow or another, he was shooting a 9mm Sigma. I have a suspicion that inadvertently somebody put a 40 Smith & Wesson recoil spring assembly in there, and that's what was causing it, because it didn't seem like the slide was cycling quite far enough to give him full function in his pistol. Could have been an ammunition problem too, but I just would first suspect that spring. But here again, I'm not really expecting a problem with this. We'll see. Real quick on disassembly of the Sigma. As always, make sure it's unloaded, check it, make sure you have no magazine, no round in the chamber. The reason that's so critical with the Sigma and also the Glock is because part of the disassembly requires you to squeeze the trigger. So after you've made sure that it's unloaded, squeeze the trigger, allow the striker to go forward. At that point, slightly retract the slide, where I'm talking about probably about a 1/16 of an inch. Once you do that, you can pull down on these levers right here. You're going to pull down on those and then ease the slide forward, and it'll come forward right off the rails. At that point, you can push forward on the back of the recoil spring assembly, remove that, lift up on the barrel, remove it, and you have now disassembled your pistol.